This is 6 Minutes, the seriously international daily newscast. It's Friday, March 14th. I'm Emma Albright.
And I'm Jacob Shropshire. People in Kolkata are winding down the day, while in Trinidad and Tobago, breakfast is on the stove. In Warsaw, and here in the World Crunch newsroom in Paris, it's just after midday. These are the latest headlines. New drone attacks were reported overnight in Ukraine as Putin questions the U.S. ceasefire proposal. Russia and China call on the U.S. to drop Iran sanctions. And our daily quiz question comes from the mind of Christopher Nolan. Russian President Vladimir Putin has laid out multiple conditions in order for Russia to accept a U.S. proposal for a ceasefire in Ukraine. Meanwhile, both Russia and Ukraine reported new enemy drone attacks overnight, with several people injured in the northern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv.
Representatives of Iran, Russia, and China have urged President Donald Trump's administration to end U.S. sanctions imposed against Iran. The sanctions are aimed at limiting Iran's rapidly advancing nuclear program, with the three countries calling for the resumption of the multilateral talks for a deal. Officials from Armenia and Azerbaijan say that they had agreed on the text of a peace agreement to end nearly 4 decades of conflict. The two post-Soviet countries have fought a series of wars since the late 1980s, when a region in Azerbaijan that had a mostly ethnic Armenian population at the time broke away from Azerbaijan with support from Armenia.
Federal judges in California and Maryland have ordered the Trump administration to reinstate thousands of probationary federal workers who lost their jobs as part of mass firings carried out at 19 different federal agencies. Now, let's take a closer look at what the international press is covering.
Mexican daily La Prensa led today with a photograph of a matador taunting a bull in Mexico City, as the city Congress is set to discuss new rules that would outlaw animal cruelty in bullfights. Only 4 of Mexico's 32 states have banned killing bulls in the controversial cultural practice. The mayor of the capital who proposed the new regulation said Mexico City cannot maintain cruelty as a spectacle.
Top outlets in Manila continue to focus on the fate of Rodrigo Duterte. The former Philippines president is set to make a first appearance at the International Criminal Court to face charges of crimes against humanity over his war on drugs that rights groups say killed as many as 30,000 people. We have a piece from Brazilian outlet Agência Pública about lawsuits against an investigation magistrate in Brazil, filed by both Donald Trump's social media company Truth Social and the far-right video platform Rumble. Emma, tell us about the piece.
The piece is written by Natalia Viana, who says the lawsuits are packed with conspiracy theories and legal acrobatics, ultimately attempting to turn the American courts into a stage for Trump's broader war on institutions. Late last month, as many in Brazil spent the weekend dancing at pre-carnival street parties, the far-right video platform Rumble was shut down on orders from Supreme Court Justice Alexander de Moraes. Truth Social is doubling down on its alliance with Rumble in the lawsuit against Moraes, as it allows them to attach the U.S. president's stamp to a legal stunt in U.S. courts, serving as intimidation against the Brazilian judge. Viana concludes, it is possible that under Trump's promise to fight for freedom of speech, or rather freedom of oppression, he could use Truth Social as a judicial arm or a trial balloon for legal battles that could later be adopted by his administration. Or perhaps this is just another manufactured controversy, this time using the U.S. justice system to create headlines that will soon vanish into thin air.
We have a piece translated from French public radio station France Inter about Vladimir Putin's de facto rejection Thursday of a U.S. ceasefire proposal in Ukraine. Kyiv agreed to the proposal without conditions, but Putin's response to put a massive amount of conditions on the deal shifts the focus to Donald Trump, who is as unpredictable as ever.
And from Colombian daily El Espectador, we have a tongue-in-cheek piece on what writer Daniel Rouge calls shakonomics. The nod to iconic Colombian singer Shakira is a way of asking if we can imagine a world in which the currency that really counts is not dollars, but culture.
We're closing things out today with a daily quiz question from the mind of director Christopher Nolan. Photos have leaked from the set of Nolan's next movie, slated for release next year. What classic story is the film retelling? Is it A, Moby Dick, B, Don Quixote, C, The Odyssey, or D, The Very Hungry Caterpillar? The correct answer is C, The Odyssey. New photos show the film star Tom Holland on the set of Christopher Nolan's take on Homer's epic story. The film is also expected to feature Matt Damon, Robert Pattinson, Zendaya, Anne Hathaway, Charlize Theron, and Jon Bernthal.
That's the latest from around the world. If you like this podcast, we'd really appreciate it if you could help us out with a follow, share, and a 5-star rating on your preferred podcasting platform. For more of the best of the international press, delivered exclusively in English, visit us at worldcrunch.com. We'll see you Monday for another episode of 6 Minutes. Bon weekend!